The world of anime is an oasis for martial artists. The fact that it has so little respect for the laws of physics makes the martial arts only more and more enjoyable. And combining this genre with romance just warms our hearts with some sweet and lovely romantic moments. Today we'll be counting down our picks of top 5 martial arts romance anime with an overpowered main character. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Number 5 Samurai Harem, Asu no Yoichi. Yoichi Karasuma was raised and trained in the mountains in the disciplines of the Divine Wind School. But when he finally betters his old man in skill, his father decides that Yoichi's new training regimen should be learning how to live in a different wilderness, the city. To that end, Yoichi journeys to an in-town dojo of his school, which becomes a challenge not only because of his unfamiliarity with the setting but also because he's never really been around girls or women, which is a particular problem since the dojo is operated and inhabited by the 4 young Ikaruga sisters. The gorgeous elder sister Ibuki, second sister Ayame, third sister Chihiya, and youngster Kagome. Much nosebleeding and bashing about by Ibuki ensue over Yoichi's innocently inappropriate behavior. Local tough Ryo Washizu, who is head over heels for Ibuki, sees Yoichi as an obstruction to his romantic goals, while various warriors from rival martial arts schools occasionally pop up to challenge Yoichi. As he and the Ikaruga sisters soon discover, the fox-masked brother and sister behind most of the attacks have their own sinister goals involving Yoichi and Ibuki. Number 4 Mushibugyou. In this series, Edo, the city where present-day Tokyo resides, is threatened by none other than giant insects. And here in the city of Edo is where we will find the Mushibugyou, literally the insect magistrate, whose ministry is mandated to protect the capital from these monsters who have thus far taken control of many parts of feudal Japan. The office's newest recruit, Jinbei Tsukishima, joins a ragtag group of the most unique warriors, including a hard-to-get kunoichi, a drunken fugitive and murderer of 99, a boy who is actually afraid of insects, the typical emo guy the main character looks up to, a vice captain who doesn't show his true ability easily, and of course, the insect magistrate whose identity is concealed to our main character, even though everyone else knows exactly who it is. As one might expect from this kind of series, there are a lot of giant insects that stand in our protagonist's way. Among them are some fairly popular ones from Japanese lore like Joragumo, or ones that are inspired by resident insects like centipedes, moths, and cicadas. Throughout the series, of course, there are more than just giant insects that our heroes have to worry about. In fact, later parts of the 2-season anime include the insect hunters, essentially the pirates of the insect-slaying world, and insect men, who are made up of Yukimura Sanada and his 10 braves, resurrected from the dead as human-insect hybrids. Number 3 Bento. Yusato is a new high school student living in the dorms. While seeking cheap eats at the local market, he finds himself beat up and semi-conscious with fleeting glimpses of a girl during the moments of his collapse. As his memories recover the next day, he discovers that trying to purchase half-priced lunch boxes can be hazardous to his health, as free-for-all fights with local students for the discounted food is the nightly routine. The girl from the night before, Sanyorizui, is an upper classmate known as the Frozen Witch and is one of the local wolves who dominates the area. She educates him on the rules of the game where wolves eat well while dogs settle for cup ramen. With fellow first-year student Hana Ashiroi, a fetishistic germaphobe, Yusato sets out to discover if he too has what it takes to be a wolf and taste the sweet victory of half-priced boxed banquets, or wallow in the bitter defeat of reconstituted noodles and salty broth in a styrofoam bowl. Number 2 Kenichi, the Mightiest disciple. Kenichi is your run-of-the-mill weakling kid who is always getting picked on by everyone and has no confidence in his abilities whatsoever. But that doesn't stop him from doing the right thing and stepping into some pretty hairy situations despite his shortcomings. The story begins with Kenichi wanting to get stronger because of his will to protect his friends. As a result, he joins the Ryo Zanpaku dojo, where he learns martial arts from multiple masters with his crush, Myo. He also doesn't become a good fighter overnight, often losing and having to learn techniques the hard way. This makes him far more human than many protagonists because even though he is a coward and not talented in any way, he does not give up, continuing to fight regardless of his chances of success. Of course, the vast amount of comedy in the show, usually at Kenichi's expense, doesn't hurt. Every episode has meaning, and will have you wanting for more. Number 1. Katanagatari. The story of Katanagatari is both very straightforward and somehow wildly unpredictable. It follows a rinse and repeat cycle where our heroes, Togame, a delicate strategist, and Shichika, an emotionless jungle boy, face off against an enemy with a powerful and unique weapon, find some way to defeat them, and subsequently take their weapon. It may sound dull and repetitive, but the show does a great job of keeping things fresh with cute/clever interactions between Togame and Shichika, who are superstar characters in their own rights. While the relationship between Togame and Shichika starts off a little suspicious, and the show doesn't try to hide the fact that Shichika comes off as a sexual weirdo, it develops into something that seems very real by the time we get to the closing credits. Throughout their travels, Shichika undergoes a very subtle transformation from emo jungle boy to fun-loving prankster that's shown in the way he interacts and teases Togame. It's all done in a flowers for Algernon kind of way, meaning the narrator doesn't have to tell us that Shichika and Togame are changing, it's just obvious. It's really refreshing to see an anime that shows us things rather than tells us what to think.
I'm waiting for the rain. I'm bracing for the thunder.